Hi, welcome back to the Harper Homestead, and I'm Debbie Harper. Today, all I'm going to do is work on transplanting some of my started plants. I usually start tomatoes and peppers, onions for sure because they take a long time, and then some items that can go out into the garden early. This one has some spots on it, so I gotta watch it. But these are peas. They can handle some of the frost, and I got some broccoli, some cilantro. I'm gonna keep inside, but I love cilantro, so I always have cilantro going. And then those are my lettuces as well. So all my peppers and my tomatoes and my onions, I'm gonna transplant them. Into bigger pots. I usually put multiple seeds in the little seed starters, and then I have some plastic covers that I put on there just to keep it warm because it's still cold here, and I'm in the basement. It's a lot colder, and so now I'm gonna just put them in their own little pods just to give them more space. And a lot of times I use what's it called? Like seed starter soil, which doesn't have a whole bunch of nutrients, kind of like a potting mix. So I usually have an organic fertilizer. This is the Miracle Grow organic one for vegetables. And I just put it in a gallon of water. And anytime I put soil in my pods, I usually make it wet and moist already. So that's just what I'm doing. So it'll automatically have some vitamins in there as I transplant them. I have a self-watering seed starter kit. And I like these pods a lot. And then the water sits on this pad. It kind of goes underneath. And this actually sits in the water and makes the whole bottom of it wet. And so it kind of draws the roots down. And so these are the onions. What you want to make sure with your onions, I trim them a lot, and that kind of forces them to put more growth down in their roots, you know, because you want a good ball for their roots. So I usually trim them. I'll trim them and put them in their own pods so they can start growing a little bit bigger and they're not crowded in here. That's just what I like to do. I've always had success with onions. I've bought pods before, not pods, seed sets, onion sets. You can buy onion sets and they're already started for you. They probably wouldn't get delivered till later. Based on your grow area, that's when they start sending them to you. So if you don't know what your zone is, we are, what are we? We are 5B here in, I live in Southwest Montana in the valley. So it's a little bit warmer, not too much. They probably wouldn't come to me. The seed sets wouldn't get here till probably late May. So I usually start them myself. So you can see the roots have gotten really big, which is nice. That's what you want. And then I'm just going to separate them and put them in their own pods. And I don't want the soil too packed because I want the root to, the bulb to start growing and get stronger. So I'm just putting them in their own little pods there. And then usually I can put water in here, or I can spray water on top of it, however I need to do it. So if you don't know your zone, what you can always do is you just go online, and if you search garden zone, the website comes up, and where you put your zip code in, and it kind of gives you what your growing zone is. And it's just important to know, when you should be putting what types of plants to buy. First of all, that helps. A lot of times when you're searching for vegetables or fruit or any other things that you're going to grow, even plants, flowers, they'll go by the garden zone saying what's best for your area. So that's what it's good for, to learn what kind, like I have onions, but it's good to know what kind of onions you do. These are red, what are they? Rosa di Milano onions. So the red onions that are good for my area, that store pretty well. So I use these. They're pretty strong too. But I've been growing these for a while, and you can get it based on your zone. So that's the ones that I have for my area. And then also, not just your growing zone, you kind of need to pay attention to your area, because, for example, I'm in 5B, and my growing zone says my last frost is mid-April, and then my first frost is usually mid-September. But in my experience, we still are pretty cold, and last year we were cold even through mid-June. And so you kind of have to just continue to watch the weather, obviously, but kind of know your zone and how the weather is in your area. It kind of helps when you're putting things out. Like I would never put my tomatoes out before May 1st. So, and a lot of times, depending on how well they're growing, I might just start hardening them off in May, and then put them out pretty probably in June. If the weather looks like it's going to stay good for 10 days, definitely the ones in my high tunnel I can plant and put those out. But you just kind of have to pay attention to that, because last year a lot of my this guy's still growing. We'll leave him in here. He's tiny. Last year we got a bad frost in mid-June, and it stunted a lot of my tomatoes. And so none of my tomatoes kind of didn't become ready until August or September. So, and a lot of them were still green. I was pulling in before the new frost was coming for the new season. So they kind of all had to ripen on my counter last year because they were just not doing so well. So you kind of have to pay attention, and each year is always a little different, but for the most part, where I live, the tomatoes in the high tunnel do the best, and then I can get them out usually by June. The year before it wasn't a problem, and June 1st was probably a good time to get them out, even part of May. So you just got to pay attention. A lot of people around here say May Day, May 1st, don't put anything out before then. But it kind of depends, like pay attention to your weather. Like broccoli, I can put that out. It can handle a good, a light frost. And usually we don't get really cold, hard freezes like we did last year in June. So most of the like brassicas could do fine. So I try to do brassicas twice. I do them now. So anything that can handle a good frost. The peas are good in the frost. Not beans, but peas are good. The broccoli is good. Cauliflower, if you grow that, are fine to put out. This lettuce, I got a mix of lettuces that are good in the frost. So I will get those out probably early May. Just checking on the weather, and depending on what goes inside my high tunnel, I think I'll have some peas in my high tunnel, so they might be able to go out earlier. And then I will do them again in probably September. So I'll probably start planting them. Some of them I plant outside, usually later in the year. Once it's warm, I'll just plant them outside. instead of starting them inside, just because it's, once the weather's good, I like putting things outside and not having them in the inside. But I'll do another round of brassicas and lettuce. Obviously lettuce, you just keep planting lettuce. Just keep planting lettuce every week so you have fresh lettuce, or every 2 weeks, depending on how much you eat. We eat a lot of salads, so I'll plant a bunch of lettuce and just keep adding to it every week. And I'll keep doing it inside until it's for sure going to be warm enough that they'll germinate on their own outside. So that's what I'll do. Some other things, like, so March is coming, and I'll probably start looking at things that maybe can't handle a frost and start planting those, like my beans, maybe some of my corn. It just depends on how long they take to germinate, and look at those things. I am going to do another tray of peppers because I really love the peppers, and make sure that we have enough peppers for the year. And those are good by freezing. You can freeze and slice peppers or freeze dry them. Those are really good too. So I like having that out. Maybe some celery too. I need to get started. I wanted to go in the garden and check because I know I left some celery out there. I'm sure that it's all frozen, but just checking on that. And then what else do I have? So some of the tomatoes, let me show you some of the tomatoes I usually grow. The tomatoes I grow here, obviously, the cherry tomatoes, those are pretty easy. I like the black cherry tomatoes. I think those taste good. I haven't grown the sun gold ones, but I do like those. I just haven't bought the seeds yet for them. But mostly I do the Amish paste for my tomato sauce. So a lot of Amish paste tomatoes, and the Roma tomatoes are also pretty meaty for paste for doing salsa, spaghetti sauce and things like that. That's mostly what I do for the tomatoes, is just can them, and that way I always have a base, whether you're doing spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, any kind of marinara sauce. I like to do a lot of diced cans as well. And then just the cherry tomatoes I just do because I'm the only one that really likes to eat tomatoes in my house. So you kind of have to be conscious of what people eat in your house. I wouldn't grow things just to grow. I think that's will be discouraging to you in the long run because you're just growing stuff that nobody's eating. So I don't do as much tomatoes as I used to just because nobody does it. But tomatoes is a good base for a lot of things like ketchup, barbecue sauce, enchilada sauce, just regular tomato sauce, plain, and then you can mix it up and marinate it later. For the paste, even freeze drying some of the tomatoes and having it in a powder, that seems to work really well when you're creating tomato sauce and just adding water. That saves space. I think it's faster and it just tastes better when you just regular can it, but it's up to everybody what tastes the best for you. So those are the tomatoes that I grow. I don't grow a whole bunch of different varieties. There was, what's this one? I can't even read what this says. This looks like it says raspberry Liana. No, what that one is, I'll have to find that one in my thing. Blush Tiger I'm trying this time, seeing how that works. And then a lot of Amish paste because I use a lot of tomatoes. Let's see what else I have here. For the lettuce mix, I'm doing the Butter Crunch lettuce mix. This one, I'll probably keep in the house and harvest it because this one needs the ideal temperature is a little higher. It says 60 to 80 degrees. But Baker Creek has a lot of great seeds that I usually pull from. Spotted Aleppo Syrian, that one's also good. But like I said, the lettuce needs a little bit warmer temperatures. Let me see. I know I had a cold one in here. This is just a cutting mix that I also have, which just is just a variety of lettuce. We ran out of lettuce inside, so that's why I started a whole bunch of lettuce right now. Let's see, this is called a Landis Winter, which you get for free sometimes from Baker's Creek. I have the slow boat cilantro that I'm growing. I don't think I did Brussels sprouts. Maybe I did. I always try Brussels sprouts. It said it could go as low as 50 degrees, which is nice, but they just take forever. And I've yet to get a harvest of Brussels sprouts. My daughter loves Brussels sprouts, so I think I always try them. But I've yet to get I think I have one pot of Brussels sprouts in there. The broccoli is, Rosmus is the broccoli that I am growing here. And also the Waltham is the other broccoli that I have. I did try some edamame beans this time, so you'll see I have some edamame beans. But these ones I have to hold on to for a little bit because the lowest degree is like 60 degrees for those. But this one, like these peas can go down to 45 degrees. So those will be okay to go out, and especially if I put them in the high tunnel where it's a little bit warmer, but they should be able to handle some light cold weather. And right now we're still getting down into like the 30s. And then in the future, we'll still have some lower, even below 30s just at night. And then it warms up during the day to, like today, it's almost 60 degrees. So if I put these, this is sugar snap peas, in the high tunnel, they should be okay. One of the things that I'm trying from seeds that I haven't been able to get to germinate, and again, this year it doesn't look like any of them are germinating, are these wonder berries. So they need warm weather, and that's probably the problem. So that's why I'm kind of separating them, and I'm going to put those back underneath a cover to see if I can get them warm enough to germinate. But my huckleberries are germinating. So I have a few huckleberries plants that have started to germinate. And so you can see it there. So a couple of them have started to sprout. So that's exciting. We'll see how well that works and how long I can get those going. And then most of my peppers, I don't have a whole bunch of peppers going right now. They take a little while. I have a lot of bell peppers. Those all sprouted. We go through a lot of bell peppers. So I have those, and those are usually the my bell peppers are the, gosh, what are they called? Giant? I don't know if I have them out here right now. I think they're called Giant or something like that. Poblano peppers, those are good. I love poblano peppers, so we have a lot of those going out. And then jalapenos. I like jalapenos. Not everyone in my family likes spicy jalapenos. So I'm trying some pumpkin jalapenos, Tabasco, because I like making the hot sauce. This one's new. This one's supposed to be hot, but has some citrusy flavor, which I thought was interesting. So this is the ají crystal pepper. So I'm trying that one out. I do have a scorpion pepper just because I like hot pepper, but the Tom jalapeno seems to work really well. So is the Craig, I think it's called, is another jalapeno that works well. And then this one says brown jalapeno. I just thought it was interesting. So I'm growing some of those right now. And all my peppers have germinated, so they should all be good. So it's usually, last time, the other ones I like to grow is serrano peppers because we use a lot of serrano peppers and a lot of jalapenos. I did some poblano. I like the poblano. Tabasco. Red lipstick pepper is another good one. But like I said, my family doesn't like spicy, only me. So I always try to limit my hot peppers. only because I'm the only one that's going to eat them. But the jalapenos we use a lot. Anytime I make refried beans, you do fresh jalapenos in your refried beans, or salsa, obviously. So I always make sure that I have a lot of jalapenos and then a lot of bell peppers, because those store really well in the freezer or in the freeze dryer. So I use those throughout the year. So that's the main things that I'm doing. If you don't have to spend a lot of money on getting these things. I used these for years. For the first 2 years before I figured out which actual plant starters I wanted to buy, I actually used anytime someone comes over or they bring snacks. We're not big sweet eaters, but a lot of times muffins, the muffins from Costco, my boys do love those. So any of those clear packages, I just put holes in here, fill it with soil, and it literally acts like a greenhouse. And so if you seal it and just put it under the light, you'll see it get moist in there, and it gets warmer in there if you get it close to the light, and you'll get a lot good germination if you create like a little greenhouse like this. So I wanted to make sure I shared that with you. Because I have so many trays now, and I have boxes and boxes of these containers. If you ever look up Bootstrap Farmer, I think their containers seem to be the most durable and last the longest. So I have lots of these, and they have different sizes. The next size I need to stock up on are the 5-inch ones. I think these are 2 or 3 inches, and they put a really big tray. I guess it fits for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4. So 40 of these fit in one tray, which is a lot. And so I am going to start transplanting these. I usually put them all in here. But like the peas and stuff, I probably need a 5-inch one to transplant it to until I can get it outside. And then I have a cart that's on wheels. It's just like a movable shelving unit that I have tied LED lights to it, and it's on all the levels, and I'll just start stacking these, and I'll show it once I get that cleared off and start stacking these for the future. And here in this little spot is where I start to do all my germination, because this light seems to be the strongest. That's the first light. It's I forgot where I got it from. Oh, Garden Supply. It was pretty expensive, but I really like it. It holds a lot of these trays for starting. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Hopefully I can take a walk out to the garden, and now that the snow is finally starting to melt and the sun is staying out so much later, I'm getting a lot more excited about these plants, and I'm going to try to grow a lot more this year, just so we can stock up in our pantry. So far, everything's we've been holding on to. We ran out of bell peppers, so I don't have any more of those, and I don't have any more onions. I do still have a lot of garlic and freeze-dried celery. I ran out of my carrots, so I really need to grow more carrots this year. So just take an assessment of things. I would say if you're just starting, just start with what you consume with the most. More than likely, it could be lettuce if you eat a lot of salad. So we grow a lot of lettuce, and lettuce is probably the easiest thing to grow. I would say start with that, because you can even grow that inside. And then, like I said, big commodity things like tomatoes and onions and peppers. I think those are pretty easy to grow as well. And I would get started on those. Don't grow anything that you don't eat. That's my only recommendation. I think it's a waste of space and money. So that's what I'm working on right now. And hopefully we can take a tour and just go look at my garden and see it's all withered away, and it's, hibernating right now, but it's fun to see it right now before things start getting planted. And then by July and August, it'll be a giant jungle, which will be so beautiful. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys are starting your garden. Can't wait.